Good morning, pool junkies, and welcome back to part two of the topic of bridging. Today we focus on bridging off the rail. I think it's a very, very important topic in case of my series from zero to hero. And today it's going to be a short one, I promise. And now let's get into it. Have fun. Boom. In case of bridging off the rail, I have to tell you that there is not only one solution. It all depends on the position of the cue ball. Let's say the cue ball is frozen to the rail. Then you have the position, you are a bit off of the rail, and for these different positions of the cue ball, you can actually use different types of bridging. I think we start with an easy example. I think if you look at this distance we now have between the cue ball and the rail, you will notice that the gap we have between ball and rail is simply too small to use your bridge hand as normal. And in this case, you have to and you should bridge off the rail. So I think in the first step, I show you the easiest one. Let's start for your understanding. Lay your cue just down in the shot lane, and then your bridge hand comes in play, and actually you only put your index finger over the shaft. So the cue now lays on the rail, and it's between the middle finger and the index finger. And what I like to do is, in the same moment, I use my thumb and give a little pressure on the shaft so I have more stability. And then I'm really able to shoot a straight shot, and the cue doesn't move in any directions compared if you are loosen here. And this is the easiest bridge you can use off the rail. I will try to give you a close-up on what it looks like. So let's say the cue ball is here. Can you see my hand? I think so, yeah. Okay. Finally, it looks like this. The shaft is lying on the rail. Then my bridge hand comes in play. Index finger goes over the shaft. And now the shaft is in between index finger and middle finger. And the thumb, which is difficult to see now, tightens this bridge up so you are able to shoot a straight shot, and you have enough stability on this type of bridge. So a really, really important thing while bridging or shooting off the rail is to keep your cue as level as possible. And I will show you in a second why this is so important. So, when your cue really is lays down on the rail, the cue should be level as possible. And you will see it better when the cue ball is closer to the rail. So as level as possible. And now I will show you why. So let's say the cue ball is almost touching this long rail. And what you now see is only, it's maybe a third of the whole ball you are actually able to hit when shooting a ball. It's just that the rail is hiding the rest of the ball. So now you have to imagine when you don't hold your cue as level as possible and you would raise it up a bit, and now you give a bit of unintentional spin to the ball. What then happens is this will lead to a curve, a massé shot. The cue ball will not be able to follow his straight line you want to shoot. This is just the reason you have when you hit the ball in the upper third, like here. So the area of not giving spin is very, very tiny because of the smaller, what is it called? The smaller curvage. Is this a curvage? You have a smaller diameter in this upper section of the ball compared to the midsection of the ball, where the ball is a bit wider. So if you are, let's say, half a tip off the center, you will automatically apply spin. And if you raise your cue or lift your butt of the cue and you go too steep into the ball, this will automatically lead to a curveball, which looks like this. The ball doesn't go straight. It goes immediately in the wrong direction. So next example, the cue ball is a bit closer to the rail. So the first shot we made, the cue ball was almost there, and now we are a bit more to the rail. Just a second. Okay. So when I now would use the same bridge as I showed you at the beginning, the problem is my, what is it called? The gap between my cue and the cue ball is too low. It's too low to make pre-strokes, to make a decent shot. That's because you have no room to feather before you shoot the ball. So in this case, what I like to do is I take my bridge hand, take the ring and the middle finger down, just like this. So now I lay index finger and the little finger on this side rail. So gotta put my cue away. So, and these two fingers will give me stabilization. So my hand is very stable and locked on the table. So, and when I now use my thumb, like in the basic bridge I showed you in video number 1 about this topic, then I'm very stable and I have enough room for pre-shots and I can shoot the ball. So another example of how you can bridge off the rail instead of putting your cue between middle and index finger, you can actually, the cue lays down, the index finger gives stabilization on the left side of the shaft and the thumb on the right side. So now the cue ball is in between index finger and thumb. This you can also do, but the problem is when you have longer shots, power shots or something, then you have no stabilization over your cue. So this means the cue is actually open. It's just like playing without a bridge. And the harder you play, the less straight you will shoot, and this will affect the shot negatively. Actually, it's not that difficult to bridge off the rail once you learned how to hold your bridge hand. And everything I showed you today, and again, I will not say that you have to do it like I showed you. No, just try it out. Find your sweet spot, find your bridge to feel comfortable, to make decent shots. And that's all I want. I think everybody who's watching my videos knows about my intention of these videos, and I'm here to help you. And I'm not your teacher. I try to be just the guy who will try to give you tips. And just another example of a shot off the rail when the cue ball is a bit off the rail. This is maybe one ball width off the rail. And let's say I want to shoot a draw shot. So in this case, I use the basically standard bridge from bridging on the table, this bridge, and I go a bit up, so the cue level increases, and then I'm able to shoot a draw shot. But this looks easy. It is not that difficult, but to be honest, this shot has to be practiced, like every shot. And as I said before, this video is not that long because bridging off the rail is not a huge topic. It's just about finding your I feel comfortable bridge while bridging off the rail. And yeah, first of all, feel comfortable while bridging from the rail. Second of all, find a bridge which gives you the most stabilization that you are able to shoot a straight shot. That's all. So I think the topic of bridge is done, and in the next video we will go on the table, we will have some pool action, I will show you more tips, beginner patterns, just examples, and as I said, this is a series which is built up from episode 1 to the next, and so on and so on. And I think small steps are better than huge steps. Now I lost what I want to say, but you know what? I don't care. Today this video is done. I will cut it down and then see you next time with more action on the pool table. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot more for subscribing. And if you like these videos, and again, please like, subscribe, and we will see us soon. Bye.